The word Christ simply means anointed one. It translates the New Testament Greek word Christos, which itself translates the Old Testament Hebrew word Mashiach, or Messiah. One of the most important meanings of the term Messiah or Christ in the Old Testament was its reference to the descendants of David that served as kings over Israel and Judah. We see this in places like 2 Chronicles chapter 6 verse 42, Psalm 89 verses 38 and 39 as well as verse 51, and Psalm 132 verses 10 and 17. But portions of the Old Testament also created the expectation that a very special anointed one was going to come in the future. He would embody all these roles in unique ways and would accomplish all of God's saving purposes in the world. It's critical to recognize that Jesus was the heir of David because this is what gives him the legal right to be the Messiah or Christ. In the 10th century BC, God made a covenant with David, promising to establish an unfailing kingdom on earth under the kingship of one of David's descendants. And of course, Christians around the world know that Jesus was this great Messiah, the final anointed one, the Christ. Because Jesus was miraculously conceived by the Holy Spirit, his human nature was completely uncorrupted by sin.
It was important for Jesus to be sinless because Jesus was coming to redeem sinners. And so the whole typology, for example, of the Old Testament sacrificial system, expecting that the animals that are brought for sacrifice are without blemish, without fault, foreshadows the necessity that Jesus himself would be without sin and blameless when he came to atone on our behalf. The one who's coming to atone for sinners must himself be sinless.
In Matthew chapter 1 verse 21, Joseph received this prophecy in a dream. Mary will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus because he will save his people from their sins. And in Matthew chapter 1 verses 22 and 23, Matthew interpreted the prophecy this way. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. In this explanation, Matthew quoted Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 and indicated that because Jesus' birth fulfilled this prophecy, it proved that he was the Christ.
Some evangelical scholars believe Isaiah's prophecy about the virgin birth directly referred to Jesus. Others believe that it pointed to Jesus typologically. But all evangelicals agree that the Holy Spirit miraculously caused Mary to conceive, and that Jesus' virgin birth proves he was the prophesied Messiah, through whom God would save his people from sin and death.